I quoted the Telegraph or something like that. Are they far right? Is Reform far right, Bill?
Yes.
Oh, you're mad. You're absolutely mad.
Your distinction.
Tensions boiled over on live television when former Labour MP Bill Raml accused commentator Adam Brooks of being far-right simply for voicing concerns shared by millions across the country.
Label tens of millions of people in this country as far-right if you think I'm far-right.
So, Bill, the latest poll of polls has Reform on 30%. Are you saying that 30% of the country are far-right?
What followed was a brutal exchange that left the Labour figure visibly rattled and exposed just how disconnected these so-called representatives have become.
The fact that you've had Labour MPs calling Keir Starmer out and calling him Enoch Powell for addressing concerns about immigration goes to show that there is an issue with people in the Labour Party having a completely twisted idea of what makes you far right and what makes you normal.
It's the same tired script, disagree with them, and you're instantly labelled. As one viewer put it perfectly, Bill comes out of the same school of thought as Starmer. If you disagree with them, you're far right. Utterly out of touch, the pair of them. But why does the Labour establishment keep branding ordinary voices as extremists? And what does this clash reveal about the growing war on free speech in Britain? Stick around and watch this to the end, because the mainstream won't show you this side of the story. And if you believe in open debate and real journalism, don't just watch, like, share and subscribe right now.
Where does this leave Keir Starmer? Why would Trump intervene like this, do you think? And what would the Prime Minister be thinking tonight, having read this front page?
Firstly, let me say I'm a very strong proponent of free speech. You know, as Higher Education Minister, I defended the right of the Oxford Union to invite Nick Griffin from the BNP. So I believe in free and open debate. I also, with respect to Lucy Connolly, I do feel the sentence was disproportionate, but we have an independent judiciary in this country. They've reviewed it and stuck with the decision. But the idea that Donald Trump is a protector of free speech. Please look at what is happening in the United States, where he's banning journalists from the White House because they criticise him. Where legitimate, where legitimate green card holders are being expelled from the country because they protested over Gaza. Where an academic with a visa turns up at the border and is turned away because he's made comments critical online of Donald Trump. Donald Trump supports free speech when it's on his terms, but not if it's not.
I'd like to address those points. So banning journalists from the White House press briefing isn't constraining free speech. It's like blocking somebody on Twitter. You can block them on Twitter. You can say what you want. You're just not invited to the press briefing. Don't say what you want.
Sorry, if this government was banning news outlets from the Downing Street lobby, it would rightly be criticised and castigated. But that's what Trump is doing. You know, he only invites
why is he
journalists.
intervening now? I know you don't like Donald Trump. Why is he intervening with the UK, do you think?
Well, one, he shouldn't be. This is a State Department statement saying they're monitoring the situation. I think they've had pressure from some of the far-right activists who are supporting this.
Such as Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
He's not far right, by the way. I will say he's not far right.
All right, but others, and therefore they're putting out a holding statement saying we're monitoring the situation.
What makes far right? Bill, am I far right?
Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely bonkers.
No, I'm not.
Far right.
Yeah, if you look at any classical...
What makes me far right, Bill?
If you look in any classical political terms, the views you espouse, Adam, are far right.
Any credibility you ever had with the viewers. I'm far right.
Bill, you clearly, Adam, every week you claim that you're a sage of public opinion with your finger on the pulse because a few people come into your pub.
Bill, you are deluded. You are utterly deluded.
No, I think you're the one who's deluded.
The audience are probably screaming at the telly right now.
Bill, the reason why the Labour Party are absolutely tanking in the polls at the moment, because they have this vision that you have, that the bell curve of opinion is completely out of whack with reality. They think that if you care about immigration and you want to stop the boats, you want to bring down both legal and illegal migration, that makes you far right, when actually it probably puts you in the middle of the bell curve.
Not true.
So
hold on, Adam, you keep interrupting people.
Stop. Stop. We can conduct this debate without raising voices and getting shouty, OK?
I've just been accused of being far right.
No, let's have it out.
Tell me why I'm far right, Bill.
I agree. Let's have it out on a sensible level, though.
You have just said that the Labour Party is not committed to reducing immigration.
That's not what I said.
You get that?
Why? No, I said that
we had an explicit manifesto commitment to reduce immigration. The government wants to reduce immigration.
I don't think that they genuinely want to make a concerted effort to do so. They are starting to wake up to the fact that this nation cares about immigration, but I think many people in the Labour Party still think that people... Right, the fact that you've had Labour MPs calling Keir Starmer out and calling him Enoch Powell for addressing concerns about immigration goes to show that there is an issue with people in the Labour Party having a completely twisted idea of what makes you far right and what makes you normal.
There have always been a handful of Labour MP, Labour activists who will criticise the language of the Prime Minister about immigration or the policies to reduce immigration.
Can I say,
the party is committed to it.
Can I say, when you call people like Adam Brooks far right, I mean, far right are people who have been recently nicked by the NCA for plotting to blow up mosques and so on with Molotovs or whatever. Those people are far right. Having concerns about migration. Name something that Adam has done that's far right.
There's all sorts of things. Okay, so the other week you quoted a statistic saying that 70% of the crimes that are committed in this country are committed by illegal immigrants.
I didn't say that. That is absolutely
right. Go back to the coverage and
I've corrected you 3 or 4 times and made you look silly on this programme with facts.
Likewise.
Right?
So I never said what proportion should you say?
I didn't say that, Bill. Bill.
Was it the story about sex offenders? The illegal migrants was 3.5 times more.
Yeah. What is it, the Telegraph or something like that? Are they far right? Is reform far right, Bill? Yes. Oh, you're mad. You're absolutely
Your distinction between extreme right and far right on any classical definition of the political spectrum, Adam, I respect your views, but I disagree with them. In classical terms, you're on far right.
Tens of millions of people in this country is far right if you think I'm far right.
The latest poll of polls has reform on 30%. Are you saying that 30% of the country are far right?
No, because look, we have a fractured political system at the moment, and you keep talking about reform surging. Actually, what the local elections demonstrate, and what the polls demonstrate. No, they don't. Go back to 1981, and the SDP were at 51% of the polls. This is not surging. It's a system that is fracturing.
All right, Bill, can I just clarify? So you think Reform UK are far right, but the millions of people who voted for them are not?
Absolutely, because people were voting in protest. It was a protest vote. And look at the detailed polling evidence from More in Common, where they interviewed people who voted for reform, and their key message for voting reform was we want to send a message to the government.
Well, I will say, with respect, I respect you, regardless of views. We disagree, and that's how it should be. You can listen to other people's views and still respect them. With respect to you, I think you are the epitome of the Labour government at the moment, where they're completely out of touch with normal people. You've got your fingers in your ears. You, quite frankly, are disconnected with the right-thinking men and women of this country by calling reform far right. And even Adam, he's a publican who the bloke owns a pub and is concerned about immigration and doesn't think that men can be women.
Cheers for watching. If you value truth over narrative, make sure to like, share, and drop a comment below.